Hello, welcome to the Fiercely Spiritual Podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Ray, and welcome to our April Angel reading. Can you believe it's April already? We are entering the second quarter of the year, and the theme for April is settling. And it's coming up very much like a settling of energy. And it's funny because when I was going through the planetary events coming up in April, it seemed as if it was doing anything but settling. But I'll talk a bit more about what this means and how it actually rings true for this month and what we're going through. April is the fourth month of the year. As I mentioned, we're entering the second quarter, and I'm going to explain what 4 means in numerology and the significance of number 4. But first of all, I just want to touch on the dates that are coming up throughout the month. So first of all, we start with the 4-4 gateway on the 4th of April. Then on the 11th of April, we have a new moon in Aries. I'll explain what this means in a minute. The 19th and 20th, we have the start of Taurus season. And then we move into the Lyrids meteor shower, which are running from the 14th to the 30th of April, but they'll be at their peak on the 21st and 22nd. And then towards the end of the month, we have the full moon on the 26th and 27th. And this is the first supermoon of the year. So lots happening there. I'm going to explain everything and what it all means. And then I'll share with you the angel cards that I've drawn for the month. So I mentioned that April is a 4 number, and 4 symbolizes balance. It is all about focus. It's about strength. And it's also a sign that the angels are with you. And 4 contains the vibration of the number 8, which is all about abundance and blessings. So on the 4-4 gateway, we can tune into those blessings, that abundance, and also lean on the power of 4, that strength, that focus, and that balance. And balance is something that's coming up very strongly for this month as well, which I'll touch on when we go into the angel cards. So we'll move from the 4-4 gateway into the new moon, which is happening about a week later on the 11th. So this new moon falls in the sign of Aries, and Aries is the powerhouse of the zodiac. We're in Aries season at the moment before we move into Taurus season. And the new moon comes just before, as I mentioned, this full supermoon. So this new moon is going to be really powerful. The effects are going to be amplified. And this is probably the most powerful time of the year to set intentions and to align with desires. New moons are all about setting intentions. They're all about what's to come, birthing something new. And this new moon will be supercharged with that energy. So take time on the 11th to sit with the new moon energy and to tune into your soul intentions, your soul desires. On the 19th and 20th, as I mentioned, Taurus season starts. So we'll be moving out of Aries into Taurus. And Taurus is, of course, an earth sign. And we all know that the Taurus energy is determined, it's dependable, but also Taurus loves the comforts of life. It loves its luxuries. It loves living life at a slower pace. So this is where this settling of energy will really come in. When Taurus season begins, we'll notice like a slowing down, but also, just enjoying life, enjoying the good things in life, being in that element of peace, of enjoyment. What comes to mind is the visual of being on holiday. When you're on holiday and you allow yourself time to sit in the sun, maybe with a glass of wine or a good book, and just to relish those moments of peace and solitude and calm. So that's what comes to mind when we think of this Taurus energy. And the settling of energy has deeper meaning, but I'll explain that in a moment. we also have, as I mentioned, the Lyrids meteor shower. So it's at its peak on the 21st and 22nd of April. And the meteor shower will bring with it new insights, it will bring inspiration, it'll be a chance to tap into spiritual wisdom, to go within, and also new opportunities and life changes. So we'll be aware with this meteor shower of the transient nature of life. As you know, the meteors, they fly through the sky, they disappear in the blink of an eye. And that's really what our lives are like. We live our lives and we feel as if it's this journey which goes on forever, but really it doesn't. It comes and goes in the blink of an eye, and we have to make the most of it. We have to enjoy every second. We have to relish every second of that journey, to drink it in. And again, this Taurian energy comes up of relishing the moment, being with your favorite book, sitting in the sun, just relishing the enjoyment of being in that energy of bliss and calm and peace. And really, I think that's what all of us want ultimately. A lot of us work in order to be able to enjoy those 2 or 3 weeks holidays that we have every year. But what if every moment of your year could be lived as if you're in that energy of being on a holiday? And it doesn't mean you don't get things done. It doesn't mean that you sit back and do nothing. Yes, you sit and enjoy that good book. But if you could bring that energy into your everyday tasks, if it's from cleaning the house to doing your job, bringing that energy of this relaxed enjoyment and just relishing every part of it. So the Lyrids meteor shower will really bring up that transient nature of life, but also those new insights and new opportunities, which if you're in that space of awareness, you can tune into. And then we'll be finishing out the month with the supermoon, the full moon, which is the first supermoon of the year. It's known as a full pink moon. It falls in the sign of Scorpio. So Scorpio is represented by the scorpion, but also by the phoenix. So we have this energy of transformation, which is, from the ashes, the flames of the phoenix rising again. And this will usher in big changes if we're open to it. So it means that there's powerful waves of opportunity opening up for each of us. And this full moon will be filled with the opportunity to break through to the next level. Whatever that is for you, whatever that means for you, you'll feel more energized, you'll feel more aligned with your heart's desires, and it'll allow you to attain your heart's desires if you are open to that energy. So tuning into the full moon, working with that energy at the end of the month, bringing in that energy of transformation, change, and flowing with us, because often we resist change, even if it's for our highest good, even if we know it's something that we want, we often resist it on some level because there's some fear coming up over letting go of the old or stepping into the new, or having the courage to step into the new. So knowing that throughout these transformations, you are held in the arms of love, you are held by the angels. And the more you call on the angels and ask for their help, the more they will help you, the more they will align with you and help you as you flow through the changes that life brings. So for those of you who have already done a lot of this work with transformation and release and working with the full moon to release the old to make way for the new, you might find that you ease through it. You might find that it's an energy that's very, you feel very aligned with, that the change just flows and there's no opposition to it. If you haven't been actively doing this work, you might find a little bit of a pull or even a little bit of upheaval, but it's always, about surrendering to it, about asking the angels for help, going back to that energy of being in that peaceful state, using that Taurian energy, thinking of that visual of sitting, in the sun, reading a book or whatever, it is that makes you, for me, that's a peaceful place to be. For you might be something else, but just aligning with that energy if you're feeling kind of pulled in different directions. And don't be afraid to open up lovingly and surrender to the flow. The more we surrender to it, the easier it is. The more we hold on tightly to our thoughts about the way things should be, the harder it is for us to let go and to allow and to release. So when we're open, when we don't have any specific ingrained ideas about how our lives should be, then we open up to the new, we open up to opportunities, we open up to something that we could never even have imagined. And it makes it so much easier for us, because it allows us to realize our true heart's desires, because sometimes we're not even consciously aware of that, and we have to let go of the conscious thoughts. We have to let go of the mind and step into the heart, step into surrender, step into ease and flow. And that doesn't mean that we're not taking action along the way. It just means that we're not staying in a state of fear, or staying in a state of holding on tightly to what wants to be let go, what wants to be released. So lots coming up. But again, I talked about that settling of energy. It's like, we've been doing this work for so long, and we've been aligning with this energy for so long. For many of us, it'll just be a settling into the energy more, settling into what we already know ourselves to be that little bit more, and uncovering ourselves a little bit more. So I have selected some cards for the month, and the first card that came up is this card. This is Dokiel, which is the guardian angel of balance. This is the card of mind, body, and spirit energy balance. And as we connect with the energy of Dokiel, we can bring balance to aspects of our lives that maybe have been misaligned or felt out of balance. These are the aspects that I've been talking about that maybe you've been holding on to. Maybe they've been wanting for a long time to be surrendered to the light, but we've been clinging onto them out of some need or some fear to hold on tightly. And when we go through ease, through joy, through bliss, we realize that what we were holding on to was the cause of our suffering, that we really didn't need to hold on to it at all. We don't need to hold on to anything. If we accept that everything is transient and we can just allow things to flow, then we can step into that state of balance. So working with Dokiel to allow us to be in a state of balanced alignment with, our physical selves, but also on an emotional level, a mental level, a spiritual level. So all levels of our being. So when we're working with these angels actively, we open the door for them to step in and help us when we call on them, when we open up to them, and we open the door to their power and their help. So the second card is Mazuriel. Mazuriel is the guardian angel of the central sun of all suns. So this is a beautiful card. And again, this card is the card of bringing about planetary and universal divine balance. So when we work with Mazuriel, we can bring about balance not just in our own lives, but that of the people around us, our loved ones, our friends, our friendship, but also on a greater level of our communities, our country, the planet we live on, universal and divine balance. So balance in all things, and allowing ourselves to be the channel for that light to flow through. So Mazuriel will help us to open up to living from this space of universal divine balance, and being balanced with and through all. So if that resonates with you, you can call on Mazuriel to radiate her spiritual flame through you, through your life, and to light up any areas that are not in balance, and to bring them back into balance. And then the final card is the Amethyst Throne of the Amethyst Throne and the Angelic Light Sword. So we had this card, I think, recently, and this card is all about transmutation. It's the master card of transmutation and divine truth. And I love the purple colors here. We all know that the violet flame is the fire of transmutation. And you can see this represented within this card, these purple hues, the violet flame will burn through anything that is needs to be released, any heaviness, any lower vibration energy. It will uplift it and transform it with this amethyst and violet light. So of course, you can work with this amethyst throne by asking to be seated within it so that you can transmute anything that is not of the light. And then with the angelic light sword, you can ask Archangel Michael to cut through any ties that bind, anything that is binding you to your past, and also ties to the future of how you have envisioned your future. And particularly if you've envisioned a future that is dark or that is fearful in any way, you can ask for those ties to that future that you've envisioned to be cut and to guide you towards a brighter future, a future that is aligned with ease and peace and joy and flow and abundance, and everything your heart's desires. So working with this card to transmute anything that is not of the light, and to work with the violet fire as well. So I hope these cards help you to navigate the month. I hope you call on the angels to work with you and to work with Dokiel and Mazuriel and the Amethyst Throne. You can work with Archangel Michael and also Melchizedek with the Amethyst Throne to help you to transmute and to release anything that doesn't serve. So a beautiful month ahead, filled with opportunity, filled with light, and filled with inspiration if you are open to it. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and sending you so many blessings for the month ahead. And I will see you once again next week for the next episode. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.